Hey, do you think Ariks had enough?
Enough of what?
Just enough.
Maybe.
You are now watching WhoDooTV.
Welcome to WhoDooTV. I'm with Jared.
Yeah, and this is Hoosier.
We are talking about X-O Manowar number 13. It is the end of the VISIGOTH arc and Ariks' end of Gorin.
Yeah, I mean, we're headed back to Earth now, folks, and so this is kind of big. Yeah.
Big news. A lot of questions asked have been answered that we've asked throughout this journey we've gone on here with WhoDooTV. And Matt Kindt on the writing, and then we got Ryan Bodenheim doing the art.
Yep, and Andrew Dalhouse is doing colors again on this one. And I mean, this book has some really awesome panels. It's full of action, it's intense. It's awesome.
I really enjoyed this book for the purpose of it. Like I say, it answers the questions we've been asking. We're going to be actually getting into some of those answers in this video. So, pause if you don't like spoilers. Keep watching if you do. Hopefully you've read the book though, because it's been a pretty good run.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you like videos like these, be sure to hit that subscribe button and like button on this particular video if you like this one in particular.
Exactly. And if you're just now catching up with this, and maybe just catching up with X-O, you could look at some of our past videos as well. Check those out. We've done all of X-O. We have a playlist just of X-O Manowar.
Yeah.
Because we've enjoyed this series up to this point.
Yeah. I mean, we're now over a year into this series, and we've gotten to this point. We've been building Gorin up. We've seen all these different facets of Gorin, and this is the culmination of all of that.
It is a really they do wrap it up in a nice bow, like we say, and it was cool that we got to talk to Matt a little bit about this book and about what he's writing and what he's thought about, some of it on camera, some of it off camera, and just his thoughts of these bounty hunters and how he created them to kill them all, and then when he got to a certain point he's like, maybe I shouldn't kill all of them. And it's kind of nice that Valiant is kind of building up the villain database as well as the hero database. So we can get some of these reoccurring villains to come in, and some of us could kind of identify them right away.
Yeah, absolutely. I think something that's really great about Valiant is there's a lot of interaction between characters in different books. But I do appreciate that they are building this rogues gallery of sorts. And that's what we get out of this is awesome characters, really cool character design. And these are characters I hope we're going to see in the future. And I mean, we're talking about these characters like they're still around, and let's get into that.
Let's get into it. So I mean, we ended the last one with Ariel getting Shanhara back on, right? And we weren't sure why. And I think you had a theory to why, and that got confirmed.
Right.
With Basil was the one that released the force field, letting Shanhara come up and take over Ariel and having him rejoin with his armor.
Yeah, that's right. And that pretty much turns the tables for Ariel. He's been kind of beaten down by these bounty hunters, and as soon as he gets Shanhara, he starts, giving it right back.
And he's had
enough.
I think he told us that
a couple times. It seems to be his favorite word in this book, and probably the last book. But I mean, it's intense. The thing though is Ariel isn't just destroying them. He's actually having to fight these guys. I mean, they're giving it back too, and it's going back and forth. And there's lots of moments of, unsure of is Ariel going to be bested here or not?
But they had to actually call in the B team. Right? Call in JV. We got to have the seconds come in, and they did a line change, and they almost had him for a moment, but then they didn't.
Yes, exactly. And then Ariel does something great. He actually works with Shanhara in this, and I like this a lot. We have Hesnid. He's the bounty hunter that they broke free from that prison planet, the one where gravity keeps him there. And he uses Shanhara, works with Shanhara in this great move, and it just really shows something to Ariel's character, and I'll get into that in a moment. But he has Shanhara kind of envelop Hesnid into this coffin, and they've seen what happens when Shanhara grabs somebody that isn't supposed to be in it, so it kind of freaks them all out.
And I'm gonna stop you there. I like that part where he's like, thought there was more, don't worry, and Shanhara tells him, don't worry, I took care of one.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And at the same time, Ariel, he keeps the gauntlets, and he's got his kind of power sword sword, and he's putting it right up to Ron's, neck and pretty much cutting him. And it's just this moment, and I thought was great, is him actually accepting Shanhara as a great part and something that is useful beyond being a tool, and it's showing the growth of their partnership together.
Right.
And I thought that was great.
That was a cool moment, how they did do the split apart, right? How Arik kept on the hands and was able to wield the sword, while Shanhara kind of did go and take over Hesnid's body for a moment. And it did give him some tools to negotiate the outcomes of what's going to happen.
That's right.
It was a very good tag team partnership that we saw there. And it did actually help resolve this issue. It was put up on like an easy, like we said earlier, a bow. It was closed up easy with the bounty hunters. Hey, kick him in the butt. Here's your money. Just leave. Get out of here.
Right.
Straighten your life out, or I'm coming back for more. And it was a pretty interesting little conversation there. But it was weird how quick they went. How in one instance they were very headstrong on what they're doing, what they're going for. We're going to get our target. We're going to get our mark. And we're taking names. We're out of here. And yet, once they saw what Shanhara and Arik together could do, they kind of put their tails between their legs and walked out.
It's kind of true. I mean, these guys are bounty hunters. They're in it for the money. And there's not a whole lot of personal, connection to this battle. They're not invested in it beyond wanting to make a buck. I think they realize that they bit off more than they can chew with this guy. And I mean, we're looking at these guys who are willing to blow up an entire planet to get someone out of prison,
right.
And just go crazy on these things. And this one man tells them, like, we've had enough.
Yep. About time you straighten up and get out.
Yep.
And then we get to see where this Gorin kind of finishes up, with Arik and Shon kind of coming to terms, with Junde and Kat kind of bringing their people together to create treaties, with Ironside and Wynn kind of becoming the new leaders of this planet, and just how it kind of ends on this great terms, and everything is kind of actually better than what it was, and he did leave the planet better than when he brought it in. It was weird, all of this for how bad it was, and then there's this, and it's solved.
Yeah, I mean, it is a shiny bow, and we said that at the top here. But it also, I don't know, I get this feeling of, it's almost like it's order that's come out of chaos. It was this moment of turmoil and not knowing what's going on. And yes, Arik kind of seemed more like this emperor, and he was doing everything he possibly could, and it kind of just caused a lot of chaos. But through that, everybody learned. They all worked together and were able to unite in a way that they've never united before.
Right. But we also get some really cool story in the past, which is what brought Arik to Gorin. And that was a question we've been asking from the beginning. Why is he even here? What brought him here? What happened on Earth? And we get to see that Arik and his wife had a child. And this child actually got sick. And it said that the child had leukemia, and that it was done through kind of like being exposed to radiation. And instantly Arik's wife back on Earth blamed Arik and Shanhara for the cause of this. And he kind of just got on his bike and ran away.
Yeah, I mean, he seems scared. He's afraid of the power that's in him. I mean, he's full of grief. He has this fear. He has a broken relationship. I mean, it's all these things culminating into one, and he realizes, like, this weapon he has is too much, and he has to take it away.
And poor Sean had to be the rebound.
Right? She only just wanted a guy. He's out there fighting wars, and he's got no dog in the fight.
Right. Be careful who you start dating on the rebound. It might cause some wars.
Right.
You never know. But, it is. And you can tell that's what kind of caused this strife between Arik and Shanhara. What got them to that place where they weren't talking, where he's just wanted to have them hung up in the closet, not use them at all, and then how it was needed. And then I, kind of going through the story, I enjoyed the way they got them to work, like we said, got them to work together, where they talked together, they respected each other, they had a mutual relationship, instead of just a tool, like you said earlier, that they were more of the, a partnership. So
yeah, that's exactly right. The book closes out with Arik deciding he is to return. And he's pretty much just flying into a sun at this point.
Right.
And we don't know where this is going to go, what's going to happen next, but he is on his way. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really cool to see him kind of go off into the sunset, like the old desperado rolls into town and takes out the bad guys, and then he goes off in the sunset to never be seen again.
Right.
And that's I did get that Western theme at the end of that, like a space age Western theme.
That's good. I hadn't picked up on that, actually.
Kind of running off into the sunset. Take out the bad, just like I said.
Yeah.
And, but we know through solicitations that he's going back to Earth the next issue. And it actually says it on the last page of this book that is to return to Earth. And then this is to be the start of Harbinger Wars 2.
Yeah.
There's gonna be he's got a card to play in this game.
I am so looking forward to what he has to offer this moment, this event, this big thing. I mean, especially a full year of issues of him being so separated from everything else on Earth. I'm so curious at how this is going to play out. How is he going to be connected to all of this? It's big, it's really big.
Yeah. And we know that there's going to be an arc coming about the Barbarian, and this is to be parallel timing, like release-wise for us, while Harbinger Wars 2 is going on.
Right.
So it's not to be like in continuity of the exact story right now.
Yes.
It's just an interesting piece. That way you don't have to get all caught up with these tie-ins like Marvel does. You have to read this to know this to know this. Yeah, it does suck with X-O that, we've been waiting for him to get back to Earth, get Shanhara, and he gets back on Earth, and then he's going back to doing this. But we're getting him in Harbinger Wars in full glory.
Right.
So
yeah, it's good. Yeah, this book was really interesting. There's a few things in there like we've been kind of hinting at. He uses the word enough a lot, just to kind of this moment, this punctuation of breaking in and stopping what's going on. I think I had a little trouble with the panels in this one too. The panels seemed uninspired, I would say, or the layout, I should say, not the artwork themselves. There's some really great artwork in this book, but the panel layout just seems uninspired to me. But overall, I think this. How else are you going to end this? You want a happy ending for Gorin. If we're not going to see it again, we've got this great rogues gallery of characters that we hopefully will see again in some form or another, and I think it's just the way it should have ended. I think it's just how it should be.
I'm gonna have to agree. It was a big bow, right? It was a big bow, but it was good. It ended in a way where there's still some characters that were built up that are still around now. You know what I mean? Like Wynn and Ironside, Cat, June Day, Shone. It did end with some great characters. And then we just got these bounty hunters to what I believe to eventually be taken care of by the Psy Lords, or to be a villain within the Psy Lords, written by Matt Kindt. Crazy theory. But I think it's going to happen. And I think that's going to tie in somewhere to Harbinger Wars 2 in some weird way. Just thoughts, throwing that out there. But there was some panels that made me question. I did enjoy the art. I thought it was really well done. There were some that were kind of odd. Like the part with the guy with the arm getting chopped off. He's got a backpack on in one scene, gets his arm chopped off with no backpack. Then the next scene, he's got his backpack back on, and his positioning is where you can't even see his arms chopped off. Which, to me, felt like a good opportunity to show another piece of art to confirm that his arm's chopped off in a way. But, that's all I really have to complain about it, really. And so that means it wasn't bad.
Right.
That means it wasn't bad. And all around, this arc was still a good arc. The whole story so far has been really, really well done. So,
yeah, I agree.
What are you going to be giving this book?
This particular book, I think I'm going to give it a 4. A 4 out of 5.
Right.
I think it's a solid book. Definitely the way it should have ended. But as I mentioned, there were some reservations on, kind of the product itself. But other than that, I think it's a solid book.
Right. I think I'm right there with you. I think as far as story and arc, I'm going to be right there at a 4.
Yeah.
For this book. Ended well, answered some questions. The one question I still have that I didn't get answered is the time frame.
Right.
How long has it been since the end of Venditti's run to when he left Earth? to when he got to Gorin. Because the kid looks like he's 3, 4, 5 years old, looks a little bit older. So just leave some questions. But ultimately, good book, and excited to see what happens and the role that he plays in Harbinger Wars.
So in all of the new characters introduced in this last 13 issues here, which one would you most like to see in an upcoming issue of anything in the Valiant Universe? Let us know in the comments below. Hey, if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button below.
There's also that subscribe button down there too. Make sure you punch that. We'd appreciate it. Follow us at Twitter at WhoDooTV, also on Facebook.
Yeah, and we'd like to thank our friends over at OutrightGeekery.com. Be sure to check them out. They got all sorts of nerdy stuff on there.
Links down in the description. Thank you for watching WhoDooTV. We appreciate you guys.